Hey y'all, welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. Well, we got something new on the homestead here. We've had gas logs since we built this house. I wanted a fireplace originally, but here it cost me around $3,000 or $4,000 to put a chimney and a fireplace and all that stuff. So we built a fireplace, but we put gas logs in it and bricked it, everything. I am going back to wood. The gas, it cost a lot to fill up a gas tank. We've got a 250-gallon tank. Now, I'm going to keep my tank. We've got a gas heater in the bathroom. But I'm finna put this in the living room. Now, this is a Ashley wood-burning insert. I showed y'all this sitting in a barn. I knew it had been there. I've been knowing about this thing for about 10 years. Didn't have no use for it, but decided that it would fit, that I could put it in my house. Called the man that owned the barn. He said, you can have it. So it's got to have a lot of work. We're going to do some restoring. We like to never got this door open. And once I got it open, I was trying to get this latch right here to work. And to tighten that bolt, there's a bolt that screws onto this that you can turn, and it opens this latch right here. So to make that work, I broke this off. I'm going to have to weld a carriage bolt on there. So for me, being able to fabricate, that's not really a big thing. So hang around in this video. We're going to try to restore this old Ashley insert. I think it's going to be a beautiful insert, and we're going to install this into our house, and we're going to be burning wood in our house. Now, we're going to put a chimney pipe in there. So I've got some of those insulated, they expensive pipes. I've got some extra ones in my shed to run through the wall. So we're going to pipe this all out. We're going to make it safe. I don't want to burn my house up. So I know that's everybody's biggest concern when you start doing stuff that a little, not right off the bat, that people say, oh, that's not safe. We're going to make sure this is safe. So I'm going to probably build a fire in this sitting out here to make sure everything works. Now, I am going to have to modify the back of this thing. It has got 2 square holes. It is designed to put in an existing fireplace and then just use the chimney. So we're going to build a modification deal to hook it to the pipe. So we'll have to do all of that. So there's going to be quite a bit of fabrication. But we're going to get this thing put together, get it restored, clean it up, brush it up, repaint it. So y'all hang with us. Okay, I got this blower in here. It did not work. So got my voltmeter out. I'm testing some wires. Now, you have to know a little basic electricity. I know basics. I am not an electrician. But common sense goes a long way. You look at your wires and the way they run, and this is the thermostat. So what I did is I took a jumper wire I have with 2 alligator clips, and I unhooked this wire nut where that thermostat that's right around here under there comes into that, and then the other side of that thermostat comes over here and hooks in. Let me see which one it is right here. It's this wire. It's this wire here. No, it is this wire right here. And what it does is it tells that switch ever so often to kick on or off. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a permanent jumper wire in here. And all it will do is I'll have to manually cut them fans on and off. So I'm putting my wire nuts back on. I mean, it's as professional as it was to begin with. I just bypassed my thermostat. So now, with it bypassed, I cut my power back on. My fans are working. Oh, that one's hitting that little thing. I put my guard right here back on there. But see, my switch works. As you turn that switch further over, it slows down. It's barely turning. I can still control my speed of my fans, hear them. and it cuts them off. So I have a working blower system. Y'all, that is a win, win, win. Blower system working. If I have to go over and manually cut it on and off, that's fine. I can get a thermostat. I probably can get on Amazon, order one, and replace that. It has to fit. But just making it work is huge. So we're good to go. We're gonna weld a handle on that thing, and we won't be far from having a function, and then we're gonna start prettying it up. Well, I've been doing a little brushing, but I was gonna show you. I went to the shop and I just welded this handle in there. Put us a new stop down here, so we are functional. We got this mounted back, and I've got my wire brush on this thing, and I got my safety equipment there on, so y'all go to fussing at me. I'm just going to tell you, if for some reason you give up your man card, you may not want to grab this. This thing right here, it's a little bit of weight there before you go to working with it. And after you brush all them grates right there with it, you know, back and forth in every one of them, you'll be more slim out. But anyway, we wire wheel things, once they start wearing out, you want to get rid of it, because that thing will start slinging wire out of it. And when I was working in a truck shop, we was buffing some stuff one time. I had one of them things stick about a little over a 1/4 inch up in my belly. It hurts. So when they start getting wore out, throw it away and go get you another. It ain't worth it. See, and y'all thought I wouldn't save. Now some of this, y'all, I'm gonna have to do with a hand brush. Well, look how pretty that shined up there. Can y'all see that? I mean, we got that Ashley slick and spit polish. We're gonna buff it up some more. I got some more ways of cleaning that up good, but here comes Marie Laveau out here to inspect our work. You might as well come on around here. She threw them hands on them hips and huffed when I mentioned her name.
That's not my name.
Y'all, she don't know this, but let's watch her expression here.
At least I'm supporting today.
Yeah, y'all see her shirt? We got a working blower, mama's happy. Had to do a little testing out here, so we decided to build a fire in it just to see how it was gonna do. Obviously the wind is blowing into the back of it, so it's smoking a lot. Well, we've got it spray painted, and this is what I bought to paint it with, high heat. Hopefully that stays with it. We've had good luck with it on barbecue grills and such. And I bought another smaller wire brush. It's on the grinder somewhere. I laid it and finished brushing up real good. But y'all, it turned out pretty good. And see how I buffed over that? I painted it, and then I just sanded back over the top of it to bring the shine back out on that. But it is supposed to have some wood handles here, and I'm going to either have to fabricate some I would like to have them on there just to keep that from being so hot. But we'll just have to see how that plays out. But it looks good so far. We're going to have to get to work now on the fireplace itself and knock some brick out and then get our pipe and all that cut. And on this back side, my friend Don Lanier told me he had some of that insulation, that fireproof insulation to wrap this with. So we're going to pack some of it down in these sides, in between it and the brick, and I won't never have to worry about. And behind my brick, y'all, there's several feet of space. This fireplace in my house is built in the corner, and then it's like 45 across it. So behind this, there'll be a good bit of space, airspace behind the brick, and then there's about 3 layers of brick up sitting on a slab. So as far as safe, I think we're gonna be pretty good. And I've got insulated pipe. I'm gonna pull a section out of my shed that's just up in here in the air that really ain't benefiting nothing, and put it in through the wall back there, and we're gonna insulate all the pipe on the inside of the house. Once it goes out, I don't really know what I'm gonna build my chimney out of yet. I thought about just getting a stainless steel pipe run up, but I've got some ideas for some other stuff. I'm gonna have to see what I can get my hands on. I would like to set up a big metal pipe and fasten it to the back of the house, and then it would be like permanent. We'll never have to worry about it being flimsy and bumped into. Them little thin stove pipes are just flimsy in my opinion, but we'll see. Well, we got the fire built in this thing. Doing a little more testing. I got to touch up the paint a little bit where we did some tack weld there, and there it burnt the paint off a little bit. That welder's hot. But I'm smoking it up, seeing how it's gonna draft. But y'all, we modified this. And I know somebody's gonna ask me why we tapered that out like that. Because it was easier to taper it out when Daddy wanted to than to argue with him why we ought to do it a different way. It was just easier to say, okay. And it don't make no difference. I couldn't see where it was gonna hurt nothing. He wanted to do it that way so we could just put a square piece up here. So I said, all right. But y'all, it is. I just stuck that up there. Now this is what's gonna go through the wall. This piece is gonna make sure that I reach the wall. This elbow will go directly on top of this. Now we cut and welded. I've got a couple extra pieces here. We was experimenting, but this was a double piece. I took a cut off weld and cut it in half. We set it on there and I welded it. So yes, and I think I got 2 little pinholes there. I'm not sure. It looks like it. It may just be bubbled and look like pinholes. There ain't no smoke come out of them yet. That's what I'm kind of watching, and I think I got 2 little pinholes right down there. But I'm just checking to see if there's gonna be any smoke come out anywhere. But y'all, we welded that collar right down to there. Don't tell me you can't weld thin stuff with a wire welder. Okay, y'all, I'm over here doing some modification. We built this. I showed you what I did. I was gonna edit all of that out, but I think it's imperative to help because there are no videos on doing what I'm doing. And I'm one of them people that when I get something in my mind, I just go at it, okay? I figure things out. So a chimney, for it to draw a regular brick fireplace, that above the firebox, it has to be tapered to draw smoke. Well, yesterday I take this over there and we build a fire in it in the yard after I have this welded flat, this right here, and open the doors and smoke rolls out the front. Now the wind was blowing, so I started stacking smokestacks on there and propping boards around it. I was just basically doing some testing. Still smoke coming out the front. I called a friend of mine that has done this. He said, we've got glass doors in ours. He said, we have to keep the doors shut to run it. But the problem is your lintel runs across about right here. Mine is at 30 inches or 31 inches in my fireplace. Well, you can't do a whole lot and just slide this straight in. So you have to kind of do it this way. Well, it don't draw good. So what I'm doing is doing some modifications to make this thing draw. Right now my conundrum, if y'all know what a conundrum is can I get this in there after I weld a box shaped like this on here, okay? And then set this up here. My problem is, at that point, can I get this under there? So I've either got to make this where I can set this on there and get back in the wall and weld it down then, because I don't want smoke leaking out in my house out here. This is basically what is known as a smoke box on a fireplace. But I think I can lay this over and work it up in there. So this is kind of a gamble. But when you build this, for this fireplace to draw right, it has to have this built on there this way. And I'll get you some good looks of it after we get it built. And I think I'm going to go ahead and tack this in place. In other words, I'll build the box, weld everything up here solid together, but I'll just put me a tack weld in a couple of spots over here, and there, where I can cut them loose readily and take it off if I need to see if it's going to draw right. Because what I did the other day, before I built all this, I built a fire in it. It was drawing fine with the two holes that are here. Once I built all this and choked that off, it didn't draw as good. So that's why we're building this. So y'all stick with it. I'm going to hopefully, if somebody decides they want to do this, that I can help you do it the right way and the best way. Okay, I've got this welded everywhere except down here. I've got a tack there, one there. I'd have to get back in here and weld all of this up. I know it looks welded, but it's not. That's from where we welded the original plate on. And that, it's welded up. I'm having to check my spots because I don't see good over here with that helmet on. But that is what I have come up with. Now I am fixing to take it and build another fire in it and see that it drafts before I do anything. Now obviously with this big crack, it's gonna smoke some. I'm okay with that right now. As long as it's pulling most of the smoke this way and not going out the front of the doors over here. And I'm wondering very curiously if I can take and roll that, like, I know you can't see my hand, roll like that up into my fireplace if I welded that fast. Otherwise, I'm going to have to take that off, slide this in, and then set it down on there and climb over in a little old hole with it and weld it up. Which, mind you, is possible. I don't want to have to crawl over in that hole, but there's enough space I could get back there and I could weld it. It'd be dark. And y'all, I'm looking at that camera. I wiped my face with them old leather gloves on, and it just moves blackness around everywhere. But anyway, I know y'all hadn't seen a lot in this welding shop. If you're doing this project, if you've got to pay a welder and a fabricator, this is probably not a route you want to go, because you're gonna spend some jack to do that. We happen to have like this piece of metal just laid out in the, you see how it's dirty? So, and that's the reason my weld ain't like really, really good, because I didn't grind it all slick. I had the stuff to do it with. I have welders in a shop and can do all this stuff, so this was the best route for me to go. Now, if you got to pay somebody to do all this, you may want to rethink what you're doing. I'm kind of directing this video to those of you that know how to do things and can do it. I mean, if you're on like the homesteading page on Facebook, and you're one of them, let's call a professional about everything, you're not going to want to fool with this. This wouldn't be for you. But we fixing to load this thing up in this tractor bucket, take it over there and build a third fire in it and see if it's going to draft like we want it to. Y'all, I finally got it drafting right. Now the wind is whooping. But when the wind, like right now, it's not blowing too bad, you can see that smoke is pulling back inside instead of coming out. Now there is a little coming out, but y'all, you can see them golden rods is flopping. I mean, the wind's blowing pretty stiff. I don't know how you... But now I added several stacks. The taller that chimney right there is, the better it pulls. So I do think I have finally got something I can work with. See, like right here, I'm just not getting a big gust of wind, and there was some smoke rolled out of it. But for the most part, I can see that smoke is pulling back in there. Yesterday, it was not doing that. So we're going to get this put in the house now, some way or another. Well, I got me a fire built right here in my stove in my shed. I have learned a lot about operating wood heater here with this, which that in the house is going to be a lot different. So what I'm going to do is we're going to conclude this video as a part one, the modification and getting this Ashley wood burning insert ready to install. We'll do a part two on the installation of it and building a chimney. Y'all, I have been super busy. I know I spoil y'all with putting out nearly a video a day, and then here it's been about 3 or 4 days we ain't got a video out. So it's a lot to do with my pottery. I spent all day yesterday driving. I went from Philadelphia, Mississippi up to Sanatobia, went up through Memphis across to Marion, Arkansas, went up there and cut across from Missouri over into Dyersburg, Tennessee, and come back down through Tupelo, Mississippi. I spent all day riding, delivering pottery. So we've got a lot going on. Right now I'm at crunch time pushing orders out, so I haven't been able to just put this stove in and get it all done. So we're going to release part one. We fixing to get I'm probably going to film today the elderberry syrup making and get that video because I've got to get that done. It's getting winter time. I need to get that. I finally got my goldenrod honey, so that video is going to be coming pretty quick. Thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Be sure to like, subscribe, and if these videos can help somebody you know, share them. But I appreciate everybody that's watching. We'll see you next time. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all.